The cultural minister of the Ukraine has now offered both Alexander Usyk and Vasyl Lomachenko the chance to leave the country's defense forces to train for a potential next fight versus Anthony Joshua and also George Kambosos Jr., respectively, says Bob Arum of Top Rank. What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Now, that's the latest from Bob Arum, head of Top Rank Boxing, and he is managing the career of at least one of those fighters, and that's Vasyl Lomachenko. Vasyl Lomachenko joined the Territorial Battalion with the recent Russian invasion of Russia invading his country of the Ukraine. So everybody who's an able-bodied man, it's almost like a draft. If you're above a certain age and younger than a certain age and you're fit and you're able-bodied and you're a man, they need you. They need you on the front lines. But now with this information from Bob Arum, he's saying that the cultural minister has given him an opportunity to basically flee the country and say, hey, we know you work a job, you're a boxer, and you're able to leave to fight George Kambosos. And Usyk, he don't have to defend the country either. He can fight Anthony Joshua because before this Russian invasion, that's what you had in mind. Wow. Now, this whole situation is unexpected and it's tragic. So we have to first lead in with that. The whole invasion, and it's crazy. It's crazy what's going on in the world. Even other places like the United States where I live has been affected. You see all the sad stories on the news, gas prices are through the roof, etc. But with that being said, as far as boxing goes, this is unprecedented. I've never heard of quite a situation where that was the case. And it's crazy the great lengths that boxing is willing to do and go through to free up Lomachenko so he can fight against George Kambosos. Like, to me, I just feel like that's a lot of energy and a lot of effort being used to ready Lomachenko so he can make good for this particular fight. Meanwhile, you have someone like Devin Haney and Eddie Hearn, and they've been pushing and saying, hey, we want to fight. Devin Haney has said he's willing to get vaccinated. He's willing to fight in Australia if need be. He thinks he can beat George Kambosos. George Kambosos went to his fight, and yet and still, they're going through these great lengths just to make Lomachenko available at such a chaotic time. And I've never seen anything quite like this. Now, before I get too far, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. I looked at my YouTube analytics, and in the last 28 days, 50% of you subscribe to my channel that consume my content. The other 50%, maybe you forgot, maybe you didn't see the subscribe button, or in some cases, YouTube unsubscribes people. Please subscribe to the channel. Click the button. It's free. Worst case scenario, you can unsubscribe if you want. Now, back to it. I just feel it's wrong in the world of boxing. Really owes Devin Haney an apology. Devin Haney, this is what I notice in the sport of boxing. You have old media and the deflectors and the detractors, and they tell you what fighters need to do. For example, Jermall Charlo was on Hot Boxing with Mike Tyson, and I got a video coming up where I want to explore different things regarding that, but I'll save that for that video. Jermall Charlo was on Hot Boxing with Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson was instigating and saying, hey, call these guys out, call Canelo out, call the Mexican Monster, call David Benavidez, he's the Mexican Monster, call him out, do it right now, call him a B, call him a C, boom, 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 right? This is what Mike Tyson was doing. And Jermall Charlo was like, man, I'm a fighter, I'm a professional fighter, we ain't got to do all that, I'm here, what's up? And the boxing world at large there's a lot of people that didn't like that. They said, oh, man, you had a missed opportunity. You were in front of the legendary heavyweight, Mike Tyson. There's nobody that can match me. My style is impetuous, my defense is impregnable. I'm just ferocious. I want his heart. I want to eat his kids. Praise be Allah. Right? You were in front of Mike Tyson and you squandered it because you did not call out David Benavidez. However, in contrast, you have Devin Haney, who actually is letting it be known. So Jermall Charlo, he's an undefeated black American fighter. You have, in contrast, an undefeated black American fighter in a different weight class in Devin Haney. And there's no confusion about who he wants to fight. He wants to fight all of these guys. He has stated that. He has stated, I want to fight Teofimo Lopez, line it up. I want to fight Ryan Garcia, line it up. Let's run it up. I want to fight, he said, Gervonta Davis. I mean, George Kambosos. He said, I'll fight him on Jupiter if I got to. On Jupiter if I got to, right? These are the things that Devin Haney said. And the world of boxing, first of all, instead of Lomachenko fighting Devin Haney, they decided to franchise him. And that was the first mistake. They made him, before we thought it was just for Canelo, but then they made Lomachenko a franchise champion. And people were scratching their head like, what, huh? And then, because initially with Canelo, they said the franchise champion is non-transferable. Then, all of a sudden, they made Lomachenko the franchise champion. So people was like, huh? What? You? I know you ain't talking about me, dog. You, huh? They knew Canelo was a franchise champion and didn't have to fight Jermall Charlo. But now Vasyl Lomachenko was a franchise champion and he didn't have to fight Devin Haney all of a sudden. Then, to add insult to injury, they said that franchise champion was a designation that only the appointed person could have that title. And then when Lomachenko fought Teofimo Lopez, you know what they did? They switched the rules. The WBC, they switched the rules. And they said, hey, whoever wins Lomachenko versus Teofimo, that person will be the franchise champion. Enter the problems. Now boxing is highly confused. People don't know who's who. Too many champions. At one point, the WBC in the lightweight division only had 3 champions. They had Devin Haney has this belt, and people are calling him the email belt and the email champion. Then you had Teofimo who beat Lomachenko, so he had the franchise designation or title that is now transferable. And Ryan Garcia, at a point in time, he had the WBC interim belt, right? So it's just such a mess. And I feel for Devin Haney because a lot of this is being leveraged against him and he's not getting the opportunity that he so wants. So to me, boxing is full of it. They tell Jermall Charlo, oh, you on Mike Tyson, call out all the names. But a lot of you guys are enamored with call outs. This is not 1995. You know what I mean? This is 2022. Boxing more than ever has sponsorships, social media. We live in a PC culture and society, cancel culture. So some of the stuff that we loved growing up or watching, like Mike Tyson and trash talking, they don't really like that. Like even at press conferences, when they get too rowdy, the fans love it. Like when Caleb Plant and Canelo Alvarez were slapping each other, we as fans, we love that. We like, oh, Canelo mushed him and then Caleb swiped him, and you know what I mean? We love that. But the promoters and the PR people, they don't love it because they want a nice, calm press conference, things like that. So whether Devin Haney is doing what people said they wanted Jermall Charlo to do, and he's still not getting a look, and now they trying to do everything, including free Lomachenko from civic duties in order to fight against George Kambosos. and then really hold the belts hostage. And this seems to be the name of the game. And I already know the play. If Lomachenko wins, which I would probably favor him to win against George Kambosos, I would favor him to win, all things being considered. And with that being said, if he wins, then Top Rank would be like, oh, Lomachenko got the belts back, and all the writers will say Lomachenko's pound for pound, top 3, and things like that, But Devin Haney, if he had the opportunity to fight George Kambosos, then maybe he can crack the top 3 pound for pound. But they don't want him to have the opportunity. Point blank, period. Subscribe to the channel, and I'm out. Are you tired of your YouTube videos not getting any views? Well, consider TubeBuddy. I've used TubeBuddy for years to scale up my YouTube channel. Now we're sitting over 200,000 subscribers. TubeBuddy is a browser extension that offers a ton of built-in productivity and time-saving services to take your channel to the next level. Use my link in the description to get started with TubeBuddy and level up your channel faster. We working. The future is now. The Hibernation 5s by Kenichi Bear. Hybrid gaming and lifestyle headphones. Out of the box, you can connect to any console or PC. Bluetooth ready with a low latency USB adapter, color RGB, and extreme bass mode. The Hibernation 5s adjust to you. Whether you need a gaming, travel, gym, or lifestyle headphones, the Hibernations got you covered. The new Hibernation 5s, link in the description. Customize the way you hear the world. Welcome to the nation.